Hello, this is Scott McDonald, and welcome to the Perfect Place to Put a Practice podcast on drdemographics.com. There have been some interesting political developments. This is the short version of this podcast. You can get the longer version by going to drdemographics.com. Here's the thing. In the news, Gavin Newsom, governor of California, the day after he got by and was not removed from office, he proposed a rather interesting and unique thing. They're calling it SB 9. It would effectively do some very big changes, and it's possible this may be a trend that will go to other states. It's a progressive mandate for a long time to try to increase the population density in certain areas. Now, in California, what it would do is this. It would take what have been current zoning things, often regulated by homeowners associations, and rather throw them out the window. So rather than having a space reserved for single family dwellings, it changes all that and says, no, now you have to have the ability to subdivide homes or to tear down homes and build apartments, regardless of what the zoning is. So where a home has previously had a one family occupancy, now you would have it so that they could have up to 4 in the same building. Or you could tear down a home and build a small apartment building and divide it into as many as 4 spaces, maybe a couple of duplexes. The idea is to increase population density. In California, it is exceptionally expensive to build a home. The costs for building materials as well as for labor that is specific to building, and they've made it so that it can't happen. The idea is if we take existing buildings and retrofit them, that we should be able to increase, by a little alchemy and magic, the value of homes. So where before a home might have cost $400,000, it would now cost, $200,000 per unit that is there. So it inflates somewhat the property values. By mandating this and taking away local residential laws and agreements through homeowners associations, it fixes the problem. The idea is to make a more dense population that is easier to manage. And frankly, politicians are very much in favor of it. They love high-rise apartments. They love the idea of greater density. It's easier to police. Utilities are much more efficiently distributed, and they can be regulated with impunity. The problem is nobody wants to live there. And so when given the opportunity to have a larger home, people typically say, I want to do that. I want to have something I can own and value. I don't want to have a small cookie cutter thing. Now, Gavin Newsom has basically passed this without the legislature fully writing off on it, and it looks like it's done without any market research. When Pew has done a recent study, it found out that people hate it. They just don't like it. They don't want to do this. And so it turns out that it has a bad potential outcome. But regardless, the politicians think it's a great idea. Remember, they don't have to make any infrastructure changes in order to do this. Now, granted, plumbing is going to have a problem, sewage is going to have a problem, but if you don't have to build a garage for the residents, it will encourage mass transportation, which has been a goal of the progressive administrators for a long period of time. There is some noise that this might be a national trend. Other states with a similar political point of view may say, this is fantastic. Remember, New York City has done these little cookie cutter apartments for some long time. And some people are saying it's the best thing ever. The problem is nobody wants to live there. Nobody is buying these little apartments. No one wants to lease them. They're feeling crowded and they're feeling unsafe. But that's okay because California will get what it wants. All I'm saying is, if this is a thing that is a serious proposal and it actually passes the legal hurdles that it's going to have to go through, it means that doctors may in fact be able to have offices that are based in a much more crowded place, and that would be a good thing for them in theory. It might mean that they have a further commute to make in theory, but it also would mean they wouldn't have to develop undeveloped properties, send out water or sewage And that would be just fantastic for them. I tend to disagree. Now, I can't really say that I can read the future, but I can say when we've seen these kinds of things happen in the past, doesn't seem to be going very well. You can see the longer version of this podcast on Dr. Demographics. Let me know what you think. And if you're looking for a great place to practice, let us know. Our job is to find out where you can go. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.